Welcome back to Moses Design Studios for another release full walkthrough. Before we start, of course, like, comment, subscribe so that way you can keep up with everything. And when we release a new video and do these walkthroughs. So with this Bible journal, I decided to expand on the first one that I made and add in some different versions that are linked to it. I also noticed, like, as I was using the other Bible journal that I had previously made, I realized I was like, I really wish I had the book study in the Bible journal instead of like in a separate journal by itself. So between some customer feedback and questions and my own working through everything, I decided to make another version of the Bible journal. Now with this one, with the previous one, it was only linked to the NLT version. This one is linked to 4 different translations. So it's linked to the NIV, NLT, ESV, and KJV. So every single chapter is, and that is also one of the other reasons why I had to separate out this Bible journal and into 5 different ones, where the Old Testament is separated out into 4 sections, which is the first, like the Law of Moses, the Pentateuch, and then the history, poetry, and prophets. And so the Old Testament, it is all in this dark gray brown. It looks more brown on the video, but this dark gray brownish color is the cover for all of the Old Testament ones, and then the New Testament is in the lighter color, and then the ringed faith journal is in the orangey color. So those 3 colors are used throughout all of these. So we'll go in. There's also 2 different versions, and so I'll show you the difference between the 2. But we'll go ahead and dive right on in, because there's a lot to walk through, especially in the faith journal. So on all of them, if you tap on this little bit, it will open up. And then every single page in all of the journals, if you tap on the springs in the middle, it will close it completely. So we start out with here. Again, we also have the links, so that way you can link the different journals together. I did pre-fill the titles of the other Bible journals in here, but they're not linked. Because if I were to link it, it would not work for you. So, because some people may like, version 1 for doing the little bit more difficult ones, maybe for like poetry or whatnot, but like being like the version 2 for the books that maybe you've read quite a bit, or you dive deeper into whichever. And so I didn't want to link like all versions 1s are linked together, all version 2s are linked together. So I am in Noteful right now, and I'm actually going to make another video here shortly with the basics of GoodNotes and Noteful for those that are new to digital planning, because I've had a lot of questions on that end as well, on how to link and how to do these things. And so look out for that video. It should be coming out shortly, if not this week, back to back with this video. So anyways, the links are pre-filled And again, they're not linked, and there is an extra blank one for your, if you wanted to link something else. These are the two fonts that I've used throughout all of these. These are linked to the blank pages, which are in the very back of the journals, which is this textured paper. Since background right now is the texture blank, and then there's one that's just plain dotted grid lined, and then another blank book template, so one that has the, like we'll see it with the books, but doesn't have like the title of the chapter. So for like Catholics, or if you're wanting to study different different books of the other Bibles that are not in the typical 66 book Bible, I did add extra blank book templates and extra blank note templates. So depending on which version you have, whether it's version 1, the notes 1 will be the same. Notes 2 will be just blank. And then if it's version 2, the notes 1 will be blank, and the notes 1 will be blank, and the notes 2 will have the extra section on the left side. And then, of course, we have our links to our Etsy shop, our YouTube, our Instagram, and our Facebook group. And I'm also working on working on plans to do Bible studies live within the group, as well as, sharing inspiration and questions and all that kind of stuff. So please head over to the group. Like I said, I'm working on building it right now and kind of working out the kinks and figuring out how I would like to do the Bible study with you guys. So if that's something you're interested in, like I said, it's linked right here. So it's pretty easy. Just click on the link and it'll open up Facebook, go straight to the group, and then you can request to be added in. All right. So starting out, this is in every single version has this exact same page where it has all of your chapters on either the left or the right, depending on how many books are actually in the journal. So some of them have the tabs like on this side too. So if the tabs are on this side, then it's flipped. And then this side, the book and the chapters will be on this side, and then all of your book study will be on this side. So this is what I was saying before, is like instead of having just the chapters on all of the books, I kind of wanted the background on all of the books and doing like an actual book study within the chapter that I was on. So that's kind of how this page got designed and thought of, was having this study built into the actual journal, so that way you can break down and study the actual whole entire book and have all of your information with it as you're reading. Okay, so so instead of having an actual like table of contents like the old version had, I did bring them all out into tabs. So whenever you click on any of these tabs, it'll take you straight over to that book. And then all of these are linked, so then it'll take you to the chapter. And so this is, like I said, this is version 1, where it'll have one blank dotted page, and then on this side it'll have the key people, places, key verses, keywords or phrases, main lesson, and reflection application. In version 2, so if we head on over to the history one, which this is a version 2, and let's just go into 1 Samuel here. It'll work for me. Come on. There we go. Version 2 is all completely blank pages. Well, I say blank, but they're dotted pages. And so, like I said earlier, each chapter page does have all 4 links to the YouVersion Bible app or Bible.com with NIV, NLT, ESV, and KJV. So when you click on these links, it will open up the Bible app. And yours may look a little different. I like the black version. I think it automatically comes in white, unless you have everything set up for how you have your settings. Okay, so as you see at 1 Samuel 28 NIV. So and then if you already have it open, and you wanted to study each chapter with all 4 different translations, that's another thing that you can do as well. Then you can also click on the flags and it'll change it in the Bible app to the other translation. So this is the NLT version or translation, and then here's ESV and the KJV. So, and of course within the Bible app itself too, you can also come in here, since I'm signed in, I have all these versions I have saved. You can come in here and you can change it as well too. But say you were good to go to a different chapter, or and you were reading your last, like you have yours set in KJV, but if you click on the NLT, it will switch it back to NLT over here as well too. All right. And so then every chapter has this little arrow up here, and this little arrow will take you back to the book introduction. And of course, you can always click on the tabs as well too, but there's that. So every single version is set up like this. Like I said, version 1 versus version 2. And then at the very end, we do have blank pages. Like I said, we have this textured blank, we plain, dotted, and grid and lined. So if you wanted to add in extra pages or journals or anything like that within the book itself, then you can come in here and copy and paste these pages after your other note pages. And like I said earlier, is another blank book page. So, for those that read the Apocrypha or any other books that are not in the 66 book Bible, I did add these templates in here so that way you can add in extra books that you study. And then as well as, since this is a version 2, this is the first one that pops up, is just a blank one by itself. And then one that also has version 1 with the extra categories here. Words are not working for me right now. So every single one is like that. Again, let's go through here real quick. Ooh. So this first one, and the way that it's labeled in Google Drive, it'll say OT1-V1, OT1, OT2, OT3, OT4 for the order of the Old Testament. So, Old Testament 1, 2, 3, 4. So with the first one, the law of Moses, we do have, it's Genesis through Deuteronomy. For the history, we have Joshua through First Kings on this side, and then Second Kings through Esther on this side. Poetry, ooh, oh, that's an easy way to show you the titles. OT3 Poetry V1. So it'll have the main title, which order it's in, what book it's called, and then version 1 or version 2. And then that's how it is. Go away. In Google Drive. So the poetry is Job through Song of Solomon or Song of Songs. And then the fourth one, prophets. This is the one that goes all the way around. We have Isaiah through Joel on this side, and then Amos through Jonah, and then Micah through Malachi. And then that is all of the Old Testament. So, and then when you go into the New Testament, it is all of them. And then it's also flip-flop on colors. We have Matthew, Mark, Luke, John along the top. We have the Gospels, and then Acts through Philippians, Colossians, First Thessalonians, Second Thessalonians, and then on the other side we have First Timothy through Philemon, and then Hebrews through John, and then Jude and Revelation. That was the easiest way for me to get, especially those really long words like Thessalonians, on the tabs and have them all fit in there correctly. So this is the only color change, like I said, within the New Testament and the Old Testament that's flipped. As far as the actual notes part, these are the same colors. So in Luke, as you can see here in version 1, it's the same colors as it was in the Old Testament. The only thing that changes is the color of this background versus the lighter color on the inside. So Old Testament is dark on the outside, light on the inside. New Testament is light on the outside, dark on the inside. And then every single one has the extra note pages. And then we can go into the faith journal. So this one is going to be a beast here. Okay, so same thing. You click on that to open it. Click on the rings to close it. With any of the tabs or any of the pages that you're in. I did put connect over here because I added more spots for links. So again, I did type in all of the books of the Bible that we have, and then I did add in 5 extra blank ones as well too for you. All right, so on this left-hand side, we have January through December. So instead of having everything in the study section like it is like in the ringed faith journal or faith planner that I have, where everything is in the study and then it's broken up into like January through December, I did bring them all out on this one. So all of these are going to be the same as far as what is available in here. So we have the daily devotional, sermon notes, Bible study, and prayers. So the daily devotional only has 1 page. So this is just the first page that you see. And it does have March up here already. And no, that is not clickable back to March. This file ended up getting pretty big before I was able to compress it down or get it out and compress it down. So those don't link back, but on the side it does. So this is the daily devotional. Again, I'm one of those that if I'm not good at using something every single day, so I don't want a lot of wasted space. But for those that are into or wanting to do the daily, then you would just copy and paste the pages right after each other and then build it as you go. So that is on the daily devotional spot to put like your date on there. So going in, we have our sermon notes. And so for a lot of these tabs, when you click on them, it'll open, looks like it opens up. And then when you click on it, it'll go back to the same one. And then you can do the same for the Bible study. And then prayers, I believe, is by itself. So going into sermon notes, here's your sermon notes for every single month. Again, we're in May, so we have May up here, but we have a spot for your date. And then all your sections for your sermon notes. And then there's 5 that are already pre-linked. So all of these are linked. All you had to do, if you wanted to, is add in the date or maybe even the title. I am like writing all over this page. Okay. Putting in the title of the sermon or the date, but it's already linked. So it'll take you straight to the sermon notes page for that. All right. And then in Bible study, again, we have 5 that are all also already pre-linked. So in the Bible study here, I call this like the SOAP plus, because I took a bunch of different types of layouts of Bible studies and stuff and kind of mushed them together. So we have the SOAP on here. We have the scripture, observation, application, and prayer. But I also noticed that I like to kind of dive in deeper when it comes to everything. So I did add in places where you can put in cross references and then keywords and phrases. How was God seen? Or what does this passage say about God? And then the context. So why was this passage even written and who was it written for? What was going on during the time that this passage was written, which when you take context into consideration, then it makes application a lot easier to apply to your life. I guess that's what application means. And then prayer, helping God help you fully understand and apply the scripture and the lessons that were learned within this. And then on monthly, we also have prayers. And so on this one is like a daily prayer. And so you can write in like, just bullet point kind of thing, what you prayed for that day. And then also kind of come back and keep track if it was answered at any time. And so every single month has the same ones. And so that is all for the left side. Oh, I totally skipped a yearly. So let's go back up to the top. Under yearly, we have 2 pages here. So we have the goals that are just these circular rectangle shapes to add in all of your goals for every single month throughout the entire year. And then on the next page, we do have a year in pixels, which you can again, copy and paste, put in what you're actually tracking, and then a key down here. All right, so then going over to the right side, here is study. So these also open up as well. So when you click on subject, it opens up, and then you have 20 different subjects that you can keep track of. And again, if you click on subject again, it'll go back to the main study page where you can see all 4. So going into subject, these are all linked. So has a place for you to write the subject, what scriptures apply to that subject, when do you need to read this scripture for this subject. Like, if your subject is anxiety, when does your anxiety increase the most? Or, what do you need to remind yourself to not worry about, or anything like that? What does God say about this subject after going through these scriptures and stuff? So what does God say about this subject? And then how can you apply this? So after reading through the scriptures on this, how can you apply it? And then is there any further areas to study or any other scriptures that kind of go back and forth? So if you're talking about anxiety, then what are some ways that you can get peace? So that can be further areas to study as well too. Looking up different things for peace. And then just a blank section for extra notes. So, and then we have character. Again, we have 20 different slots here. So going in, we have the name, the about section, the book that they're featured in, or books, their strengths and weaknesses, a place to write their story, key scriptures, the lessons that either they learned or that you learned from them, how was God or Christ revealed in their story, and then how can you apply this to your life as well. And then verse mapping, again, we have 20 different ones here. So we have a place for you to write down the verse, the different translations, so you can look at different translations of that verse as well too. And if either copy pasting or writing the 3 different translations for the verse, or what you picked up from each different one, however you want to use that, any keywords and definitions. And then if you zoom in here, it does already have Hebrew, Greek, or Arabic under all the definitions. On what the original word was and what language it was in. And then again, we have another context, cross references again for the verse, a prayer, summary, reflection, and application as well. So a deeper dive into different verses. And then we have our worship section, worship study. Again, 20, so 20 different songs that you can do. And then on here we have places where you can put in a picture of the album, put the lyrics, have a place to write your notes, the Bible references within the song and the application. When do you need this song? How does this song make you feel? What does it remind you of? Those kinds of things. So that is everything in the study section. So when we go into prayer section, there's 2 different places, or 2 different things here. So we have a prayer log. So again, it's kind of like the monthly one, just in a separate one. So if you want to keep your monthly one for yourself or your daily, and then any extra prayer requests or anything that you're praying extra hard for, or something like that, you can keep track of it here. Again, there's only 1 page, but again, you can copy and paste on these as well too. And like I had mentioned, I think this is my January video, I made a sticker of a prayer board because my community group is going to be making prayer boards the next time that we meet. And so I was like, I wonder how I can integrate that. So when you click on prayer board, it opens up. And then we have 10 different sections that you can write on here. So we have our little envelopes where you can either like add in your own text on the envelope, on what like the category is that you're praying for. So whenever you pray over like your finances or your family or your husband or wife or kids, other people, yeah, you can put in your categories here and treat this like a digital prayer board. And then when you open up one of the envelopes, you have your little notes here. So you have 12 notes for every envelope. Again, unless you copy and paste and need more. And so then you have places up here where you can write in the category on the top. And again, it has places for you to write your actual prayer, the date that you pray, like the date that you prayed it, and then when it was answered. So that's everything for prayer. And then we go into track. So we have our typical trackers here, the books of the Bible, the Old and the New Testament, favorite verses and miracles. So these are side by side. So we'll go in here. And so we have 2 bookshelves. On the left side, we have all of the Old Testament here, where you can like color in whenever you've read through the book. And then on the right side is our New Testament, and then any extra notes or you want to write in what, your goals, if you want to read the Bible in a year, or maybe your plan. Writing that in too. You want to write your goal dates on here on when you want to read through the book, the date and all that. So many different ways that you could use this. And then with the Old Testament here you can keep track of the individual chapters that you read. So whenever you zoom in, every single book has the number of chapters that are in it. So then you can mark them off as you go, chapter by chapter. So the Old Testament here, we have 2 pages to get through the Old Testament. And then we have the New Testament. And again, 2 pages, and then 1 just blank. Adding in notes, maybe adding in different verses that you want to keep track of, or things that stood out to you. Again, writing goals down, whichever. So in the next, we have our favorite verses. Again, kind of in the same note style that we had in the prayer, only with the flags on the top, so you can write in, like, put your verse up here, and then write the actual verse down, and then you keep track of your verses that way. Miracles. So here we have a place to put a picture, the date, and then writing in or typing in what specific miracle happened, and being able to track those. Yeah. And then in our templates, again, we have the same blank pages as we did in each of the other Bible journals. So we have the textured blank page, the plain blank page, a dotted, a grid, and a lined. All right, so that is, oh, wait, that is not everything. Also included is a split screen style sticker page. So if we open this in a new window here, open our other note fold back up. So here are the stickers that are included, which are mainly just all kind of what you see within here. Let me go here. Okay. So some of these different shapes and stuff like that are what are included in here. And then I did separate out the bookshelves as well. So let's go ahead and make this big again so we can zoom in. All right. So I did add in extra words here, both in black and white. So these are all singular stickers by themselves. So if you wanted to add in, like, mix and match here, and make your own stickers with the different, again, you can use like Bible journal too. So there's different ways to use the words here, so that way you can add in your own titles or stickers all together. And something I also like to do, and a reason why I like Noteful a lot better than GoodNotes, is also because you can also group stickers together. So, you know, say for instance, I wanted to put this Bible and study together. I could have just duplicated it. So whenever you lasso both of them, you click the little arrow and hit group. And then now it's just one sticker together. So you can't do that in GoodNotes as of yet. And I forgot I did not add one word here. I'm gonna have to fix that. But yeah, as of right now, you can't do that. And then you can also save them as well. So you can use it for later. All right. So here is also the book outline that we saw in all of the other Bible studies or Bible journals. And then this is also what was in the version 1 notes. If you wanted to add it, like maybe use version 2, but sometimes you wanted to actually use this for something. So that's one way to use to kind of customize your Bible journals as well too, is saving this sticker. If you do like both versions, but you don't want to keep both versions downloaded into your GoodNotes or Noteful or whatever other app you use, that's where this sticker can kind of come in handy. So you can go in, you know, with have version 2 on all of them, but also have the sticker to add it in to make it like version 1. All right, so some of these, okay, I want to say all the ones with a square are opaque, so they're see-through, because these are all the ones that were used in the Bible journals. I did add the envelope in here as well too, that we saw in the prayer section of the ringed planner, or ringed, not planner, ringed faith journal. The memories, so these are also separated out, the light and the darker one. These are also opaque. see-through as well. So these that have the flags are not opaque. These are full. So these ones that have the double-ended flags, all of these are not see-through at all. Neither is this prayer one. This one is not see-through either. Or opaque, whichever. And then we have the bookcase for the Old Testament, and then the bookcase for the New Testament. So those are all the stickers that will come in with your purchase whenever you get the oh no, why are you messing up? Ringed Bible journal and faith journal. So that is everything. If you have any other questions, again, do not hesitate to reach out, leave a comment, come join our Facebook group. I try to be pretty quick on whenever people reach out with questions, and try to answer you guys as fast as I can. And then again, be on the lookout for another video coming soon that will break down GoodNotes and Noteful for those that are new to digital planning, kind of some of the basics to get you started going through everything. I will get that video out as soon as possible. Like I said, probably right after this one. So if you are new to the digital planning world, definitely hit that subscribe and that bell so that way you can be notified whenever that video goes live. So again, reach out if you have any other questions, and I hope your guys' Bible journeys and Bible studies and your faith grows deeper and your understanding. And thank you for coming along on this ride. I will have this linked in the description below, so that way it'll take you straight to the Etsy shop and where you can buy this Bible journal, this ringed Bible journal and faith journal set. All right. Well, thank you, and I will see you guys next time.